Coming na. Lagi untuk
Ladies and gentlemen, a very special welcome to the Royal Wingwalkers. Music is this afternoon, specially chosen by the teams for their display. For a very special maneuvers from the Falcon for the Falcon Hunt.
Смотри, сердце делает.
Ну-ка там.
So, two aircraft going to the left, two to the right. Okay, up together. We're going to get a display of possible freestyle.
Смотри на вот этого, смотри за ним, за ним, за ним. Смотри. Смотри, смотри, смотри.
Это вообще иди сюда.
Toronto na sila.
Слушай, посмотри, как круто. Яш, тебе
Я шипокер.
Яша, смотри.
The aerobatic maneuvers, so they stay in synchronization all the way through.
Зачем калитку дати? Таня, смотри, Таня! Это вообще, это просто! Ой, смотри,
Смотри, смотри за ним.
Меня захватывает дух прям. Иди сюда к нам.
А просто тут люди, понял, сидят.
Сюда иди. Садись. Меня
Pilot demonstrating stability of the aircraft. Stay on the north car.
Ты меня вообще притолкнул. Давид, держи кресло, хотя бы без канала. Яшик поближе, Яшик, Яшик. Иди наперед, Сань.
Another fantastic photo opportunity ready. Have the cameras in the ready for the half break.
Саня, вон. Я не страшно. Да.
Nandiyan siya sa train mo. Pak.
Pwede dito gamay. Diri ka na po. Ilis tabi. Lagta. Diri ka na.
Special maneuver from the bottom. Welcome this afternoon to flying the extra C-30 LX aircraft in portion formation. The aircraft considered to be one of the best aerobatic aircraft on the market. So here comes the four term. Once again, joining up in formation, smoke on. Next formation you're going to see involves a slow roll. This from an aerobatic pilot's point of view takes maximum skill and control, taking the aircraft very slowly through the dynamic changes as the aircraft reformates back into form. Another fantastic photo opportunity for you coming up. This is a slow roll back. Very close to each other as they continue the slow roll. Coming next, the Concord formation. This again is a super photo opportunity for you this Saturday afternoon. And the slide towards us. And you have it ready for the Concord Bray.
Яша, смотри на самолеты. Яш, смотри, смотри.
afternoon from the Royal Canadian Conference.
Видишь, у меня а так прям страшно.
So we say goodbye on to tomorrow to the Royal Canadian Conference. Thank you guys. On the way, we will give you 2 Mustangs. Very special welcome to John Dawes and the B-51 from St. Helens. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. Very special welcome. Chatting with John earlier on about this fantastic aircraft. A genuine World War II surviving aircraft, fully restored and airworthy. The North American Aviation C-51 Mustang. Single C fighter, a fighter bomber used during World War II or the Korean War. And this very aircraft flew on combat operations with the 352 fighter group. And was probably known during World War II as Blue Nose, the word, here, of Botany. The two aircraft we're seeing here today as well actually have still some evidence of blast damage to it. We see while escorting bombers over Pearl. John's getting speeds of up to 420 miles an hour at times during this performance. The aircraft is actually and was capable of reaching supersonic speeds initially, sometimes in a dive, but obviously when you do that, the aircraft performs fairly erratically, so they try and avoid that if they possibly can. Also capable of going up to altitudes of over 20,000 feet, but the pilots would not only need oxygen, but actually would have to wear heated flight suits in order to stay alive. Just as the aircams come close, I'm going to stop talking so you can hear the phenomenal sound of this engine. Another phenomenon of this aircraft as well was that it was capable of producing a strange, almost whistling sound, because where the machine guns were fixed on the front wing of the aircraft, there were obviously 3 small holes on the left and 3 on the right. And when the pilot would pull up in a particular maneuver, the wind going over, a bit like blowing across the top of a bottle, would produce a particular whistling sound, known specifically to the Mustang and fans of the Mustang aircraft. All of these maneuvers that John is doing this afternoon for is introducing really strong G-forces. And if you're a fan of aerobatics, you'll know that as he pulls the aircraft up, his weight sometimes will double and even triple, making it extremely difficult to operate the controls of the aircraft. But that's why, after a full aerobatic session, you can lose several thousand calories. Here's an idea. You'll hear. You hear this aircraft before you see it. Now coming from Bray, head towards it. The aircraft beginning this afternoon is maintained by the Duxton-based Aircraft Restoration Company, and it's seen regularly flying over Ireland and the UK at airshows, including of course for us this weekend, today and tomorrow.
Whoa!
Miss Ellen's also a movie star, because this aircraft was flown in the movie Memphis Belle, the film by Pete John, in summer 1981. Less well known by people today, of course, that there are really only 2 aircraft left, surviving aircraft, and only one single genuine survivor of nearly 500 B-57 and B-51 fighters that were built during World War II. This particular off-stand is still airworthy. And our pilot this afternoon, John Dodge, this is what he's capable of. When these aircraft were used in the UK during World War II, they originally changed the American engine standard to the engines in Spitfire, giving them such extra performance. And of course, a lot of the maneuvers that John is demonstrating this afternoon would have been used in dogfighting. And so, being able to change direction rapidly and go in the other direction to avoid an aircraft chasing you. Remember, they were originally protecting other aircraft on various different missions. They would break off and be pursued by other aircraft and would have various different maneuvers, which you now see at air shows as part of the aerobatic display, including rolls, Immelman turns, and stall turns. So as John will come for another pass. So again, a very special thank you to John and his performance in Miss Callum. We know he's coming for one more pass, but it tells us that there's a little bit of turbulence up there. So we're going to very shortly now have our next aircraft for you, which is going to be another nostalgic look at aviation with the Catalina Flying Boat. So this aircraft is used as a spotting aircraft, but also as a rescue aircraft. And you'll notice as it approaches the beachfront this morning, after this afternoon, that it is both seaplane and a land plane. This aircraft capable of landing on water or indeed landing on a hard runway. Angela Cunningham is the pilot flying this afternoon. Angela, a former airline pilot and now instructor. Now, if you were to try and guess the age of this aircraft, would you believe that, well, we don't ask a lady her age sometimes, but this pickup is 80 years old this year, still flying happily. Built by the Canadian Vickers Company in Quebec for the Royal Canadian Air Force in the autumn of 1943. During World War II, this aircraft took an enemy submarine and saw it day and night along the western coast of Canada. This airplane doesn't go anywhere in a hurry, but remember its primary function was to keep a platform for observation. So slow speed was important. The normal operating crew of 8 people on this aircraft with a maximum speed of 196 miles an hour, and it had a control range of 2,520 miles, powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney twin-watt radial engines and waste unit sound. Very nice photo opportunity coming for you now as the aircraft flies towards the skyline. And if you look at the wingtips of this aircraft, you might notice that there are what looks like little bumps on the end. These are actually floats which can be extended down for landing on water. So as the aircraft passes you this time, you notice that the floats are still up. On the next orbit, Angelo will lower these floats and give you an idea of how the aircraft would look if it were landing on water. Every time this aircraft would land on seawater, it would return to base and have an extensive cleaning afterwards to prevent corrosion. So when this aircraft comes out, it's treated with kid gloves, and as an 80-year-old aircraft, it's showing its age extremely well. So Angelo put the landing lights on. Coming in now at about 300 feet. Slowed down to 80 miles an hour just for this pass. You have to imagine that if you were a pilot who had been shot down or had lost their aircraft and you were floating around in a rubber dinghy, that the sight of this aircraft coming towards you would be a very welcome sight indeed. The first thing they would have done is a slow pass, and using the side windows they would drop an additional life raft, some shark repellent and some additional water and food supplies until they felt that it was safe to land and pick you up. Hence the name Miss Pickup on this particular aircraft. An aircraft in a time before rescue helicopters. It became, as I said, very much a favourable sight for people who were flying.
Em no mà gần sẽ đi rồi giờ.
Angelo and the crew tell me that they can actually see you all this afternoon, so if you do want to give them a wave as they go past, they will appreciate it. If you look at the back of the aircraft, you'll see rather large windows. These bubble windows allow the observer to actually see out beyond the side of the aircraft. That resulted in this aircraft having a second life at one stage when it headed down to Africa, where it was used for a while for safari flight. People getting an opportunity to see the animals from a high altitude, or should I say low altitude, without landing. And it was now put down the wheels on the aircraft, so this will again be another slow fly pass. Those of you, again, with good sharp vision might like to look to the east, and you'll see just coming up into view at the moment is the Lancaster from the Memorial flight. This aircraft took off in the UK and is going to display here this afternoon, and you'll be flying directly back. Again, all these aircraft are of a particular age and vintage. Here comes the Catalina with the wheels down. This is a great photo opportunity for a slow fly pass. And this is an opportunity to show your thanks to Miss Pickup, the Catalina, and Angelo and his crew.
Observe.
Дай ему, если скоро пригрелось.
If you'd like to read more stories about the Catalina, and indeed a particularly great story about the rescue of a young Mustang pilot we saw the aircraft we saw earlier on, then make sure you download a copy of our souvenir brochure. It's free to download. All you have to do is find one of the Bray air display posters all along the front, scan the QR code, and you can download your own souvenir copies with lots of photographs, stories, and information on the aircraft that you're seeing today, including the Catalina.
Kanila jumuk pa dito. Mal.
You're really seeing history in the sky at the moment. There's a Catalina heading back towards Killiney soon. You'll also see down in that region the Lancaster of the memorial flight. Normally during a display of some aircraft we like to play some music, and we also like to give you some information about the aircraft. But one of the things that airshow commentators also like to do is sometimes just give you an opportunity to hear the sounds of the aircraft engine, and that's very much the case with the Lancaster with its 4 beautiful Merlin engines. So what I'm going to do is, before the Lancaster appears on the scene, I'm going to give you some of the background information, and then we're just going to stay quiet and enjoy the beautiful sounds of this aircraft as it comes along.
I just found this piece of glass, so I need to go put it in the bin. It's like right where I'm sitting.
The aircraft we're going to see this afternoon is part of the Royal Air Force Battle of Britain Memorial Flight in its 66th year, having been formed officially in 1957. Their fleet of World War II aircraft are preserved in flying condition as a tribute to the 120,000 men and women who gave their lives in the service of the armed forces in the UK. Each of the BBMF aircraft has its own unique history, but each of the flight's warbirds represents a specific aircraft of World War II. So here it comes, the Lancaster. Last, but by no means least, I suppose, to say about this aircraft, it is only the one of only 2 of the iconic 4-engine twin bombers still airworthy, out of nearly 7,400 that were built. Built at the Vickers Armstrong factory in 1945 at the end of the war. This one didn't see any operational service, but it did join the memorial flight in 1973.
Wow, that's смотри.
Ito yung plan sila.
You can imagine with classic aircraft like this, that being only one of 2 left flying in the world, this aircraft only comes out when the flying conditions are absolutely within the limits of operation, and we're very lucky that today the wind speeds are just on the edge of operation, and so the Lancaster was able to fly across the Irish Sea to us this afternoon. It won't be landing in Ireland, it'll be heading right back over towards its base in the UK after this demonstration flight. Here it comes again, a lovely photo opportunity for those of you recording on video. This will be again a chance to catch the sound of the 4 beautiful engines.
Nandiyan syncron power today. Parehara lang nga.
Яша, аккуратно.
This particular Lancaster never saw any active military service. Built, as I said, just after the end of World War II. And in 1945, the aircraft was put into storage with just 3 hours and 10 minutes of time on the engines and airframe. It was later loaned to the Tiger Fueling Company with the intentions of converting it into a drone aircraft, which would have been used for target practice. Unlucky for us this afternoon, that never happened. Instead, it was allocated to the Council College of Aeronautics in 1954, and it was used for testing various different airfoil sections.
Ay, nalagay kidakan.
Very much a teaching aid at the time. And then, as I said, in 1973, joined the BBMF. This aircraft, another aircraft from Memorial Flight Off, loaned by RAF pilots. And the crew today made up of 3 Lancaster captains. An engineer, a navigator and a loadmaster are all essential to the safe operation of the Lancaster aircraft. Coming around now with wheels down, giving you a demonstration of the aircraft in slow flight configuration. Another excellent photo opportunity on the way for you folks. Slow flight pass for the Lancaster. Wheels down, lights on. So as we mentioned to you before, in a slow pass like this, some of the crew on the aircraft will be able to see you at the window, and you can give them a wave as they present the Lancaster for the memorial flight. The Lancaster is going to do one more slow pass down the shoreline, and then it will formate with the PC-9 of the Irish Air Corps. And ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon it will give us an opportunity to pay a very special tribute as well to the late Sinead O'Connor. So we will be doing that in just a moment as the two aircraft join in formation.
Venha, traga ela. Venha. Cuidado pra não cair ninguém, tá?
While waving the wings has a way of waving to you, so you got to wave.
Vamos na naman ito. Yan.
Again, the eagle-eyed of you will keep an eye to the north, looking for the PC-9s of the Irish Air Corps, the Silver Swallows. We'll join in formation with the Lancaster.
नाकर चाला काली अल्लाह बहुत हेल्दी हो जाए आपको कुछ नहीं आ जाए.
So once again, we've been very lucky this afternoon with the weather and the ceiling, meaning that we're able to give you a great show this afternoon. And essentially coming next, bringing the PC-9s of the Silver Swallows in formation of the Lancaster, and they're going to do a slow pass.
Ganyan na siya. Kalan niya. Wala siya kumakas sa Agi. Kalimut na siya.
So again, if you're eagle-eyed and you're looking over Killiney, you'll see the three PC-9 aircraft joining in formation with the Lancaster.
Nag-goal na siya lang niya.
So ladies and gentlemen, a very special tribute this afternoon to Sinead O'Connor.
Kailan ka na siya dito, Wonder?
Here.
Nice yung siyang ganito.
fixed wing part, and then the air support unit itself is based in Baldown. It effectively is a Garda station in Baldown, and it does its responses from there. And I'm sure the Garda Air Support aircraft 135 will be here also at some stage today. And of course, there's the ambulance support in that zone as well. Yeah, this, the emergency air ambulance service is over 10 years old now, and this is something the state again was missing. It's an architecture to emergencies in the state. And the purpose of that really is to bring people to a centre of excellence in the shortest time possible. Because much of our country is simply not able to access ambulance service in a time-critical manner, and the helicopter does that for us. Well, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We'll probably talk to you again as we get closer towards the display, but now let's draw ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls' attention to the Wingwalkers. On top of these Stearman aircraft, two girls are strapped in and ready to give you a most amazing show. So Emma and Kirsten are our Wingwalkers this afternoon. Had a chance to talk to the girls earlier on today, telling me that this is probably one of the most exciting things you can do, standing on the top of the wing of an aircraft with an aerobatic display. The team have been a major feature on the worldwide display circuit since 1987 and is the only formation wing walking display team in the world. They've displayed all over the world, including China, and we're very lucky to have them in Bray this afternoon. So if you can imagine what it's like to put your hand out the window of a car when you're traveling along at maybe 20 or 30 kilometers an hour, can you imagine what it's like to have a 150-mile-an-hour wind blowing in your face while you perform various different acrobatic and aerobatic maneuvers? You're going to see some gymnastics. Kind of puts a different complexion when somebody says to you, "What did you do at work today?"
Ito na. Balik. So here's that moment I told you about where they're now going to climb back into the cockpit for the journey back to Weston Airport, where they are based tonight, and they will be back with us again tomorrow for day 2 of Bray. The last pass this afternoon for the Wingwalkers as they head back towards Weston.
Excuse me, sorry.
So another firm favourite of Bray on their way with Team Raven. Normally 5 aircraft in the formation. Today we're going to have 6 aircraft.
In Paris, there's a lot of roller coasters.
The original team flew with Van's OV4 aircraft, but now they are an all OV8 lineup. The interesting thing about this aircraft is they're all home built. You don't buy these in the factory. You buy the kit and you make it yourself. Simon Shirley is the pilot in Raven 1, which is the lead aircraft. This is his 10th season as a display pilot. He's a former RAF fast jet pilot with around 5,500 hours flying time, and has normally flown the Tornado F3 aircraft. Get your cameras ready. Remember too, the Ravens aren't actually representing any air force or any country. In fact, these are a group of private pilots who've come together to share their enthusiasm with a variety of different backgrounds. Some of them military, some of them operating with airlines, one of them even being a professional rugby player. Two aircraft now as part of the display. You'll notice the other 4 have taken themselves off center stage. They'll rejoin in a moment. Here they come.
Wala sila lagi pa sa una, di ba?
Remember, the 3 other aircraft at the back are not rocking ahead. They're watching very closely the lead aircraft and the lead pilot's instructions, so they change only when he changes. Aircraft in formation, rolling into a loop. So, a battle. And watch the other aircraft now. There's one aircraft in the One of the things that formation teams like to do is change positions, and a lot of the Ravens have moved their position in the formations from last year. In number 5, in Raven 5 is Russ Eatwell. Russ has moved out of the left wing position as Raven 5 on this his second season with the team. He was been flying gliders since the age of 11. Folks, a really good photo opportunity coming up as the team fly towards the crowd with smoke on. Now that is superb. Now if you look, there are aircraft to the north, south, east and west. The challenge for formation team is to rejoin. They use the phone, by the way, to see each other in the sky as well as for our entertainment. Here they come with the pass.
Чтоб я маме свидали там бабушке. И вот
Mama, ti da kompresija i ora na Dumna. Papa ga motorele. Vale tu Dumna da Cavandi varo i bravo.
We were chatting to you earlier on about Raven 5, Ross, who also has flown Spitfires. And also works as an airline pilot with airlines including Monarch, Etihad and Emirates on the Airbus A320 and the A380. In Raven 4 is Gerald Williams. Gerald, originally a professional rugby player in Wales, New Zealand and South Africa. He's a keen private pilot with 25 years of flying with more than 2,000 hours. Barry Gwinnett is in Raven 3, another experienced general aviation pilot. He's had a private pilot's license for 36 years. Here comes our favorite photo opportunity. The bomber spray. In Raven 2 is Peter Wells. Raven 2 flown by Pete with over 6,000 hours, all on tail dragger aircraft. That's the aircraft with the little wheelers at the back rather than the front. Again, he went solo on his 16th birthday and has flown gliders and light aircraft as well. So we're going to get the aircraft flying towards us again. With Victor's barrel roll. Now, if you've been a regular at Bray, you'll know that the Ravens have a very special maneuver they like to do every time they come to us here at Bray. And that includes drawing a heart in the sky and putting an arrow through it. And it's when they ask us to ask you to dedicate the heart to someone that matters to you this afternoon.
Nasa man? Kato, nas layo. Nas taas, oh. Nasa taas.
Here it comes.
Napaikuan.
There's the arrow. The next maneuver, Ravens 1, 2, and 3, with some crocodile loops. Before the team rejoin, for something again very special to the Ravens, called the Twizzles. So again, remember the big skill for the formation crew is to get back in formation, especially when they've been in all 4 points of the sky. Here come the 6 aircraft back in formation again. And look at that, all of the aircraft back, line abreast. 6 aircraft in the RV-8. Lights on. The Ravens and their Twizzles. Okay, those of you who missed the last photo op, here comes the bomb burst again. So the aircraft rejoin for a Delta downward bomb burst. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ravens at Bray 2023. Congratulations to them. A superb display. And just hearing from the pilots that they're also up there at about 400 feet experiencing a little bit of turbulence, so they did extremely well to stay in formation given the fact that there's a bit of wind whipping around Bray Head there at the moment. Well, our very special thanks to them as they head back to base, and will be rejoining us again tomorrow for day 2. Aircraft are an opportunity for us to remember the aircraft that have served Ireland so well over the years, including the Chipmunk aircraft. So the 3 aircraft we're looking at this afternoon include Stearman aircraft, and behind it, the 2 Chipmunk aircraft. Let's tell you a little bit about the 2 Chipmunk aircraft that you can see, the silver aircraft following behind the biplane. And the Chipmunk is a 2-seater training aircraft which was used to train pilots in the Irish Air Corps. It's powered by a Gypsy Major 10 Mark II engine. It's a low wing and it's fitted with a clear perspex canopy which covers both occupants. It was the first time for pilots training that they actually got to sit indoors rather than outdoors like the pilots in the Stearman, which is flying to the front. Initially flown in May 1946, de Havilland went on to produce almost 1,300 of this type of aircraft. Built in Broughton and in Chester, in the UK, delivered new to the Irish Air Corps on the 30th of January 1952 and registered as 168. And it was piloted by Commandant Rob James in July 1993, by which time it had accumulated 4,500 flight hours. After 1993, the aircraft was put into storage and remained untouched until it was donated to the Irish Historic Flight Foundation. This morning I was talking to some of the pilots from the Historic Flight Foundation, and they reminded me that for many pilots who are still flying today, there's a great fondness for this aircraft, because when Airlings recruited pilots, their initial training was done with the Air Corps in the Chipmunk. These days it's a very different process, and if you visit the Airlings stand, you'll be able to find out a little bit more about their current recruitment process, which has just been announced. But in the meantime, we're enjoying this afternoon the leisurely pace of the aircraft of the Historic Flight Foundation. At the front of the formation at the moment, with the yellow wings and blue body, you'll see the Boeing Stearman aircraft. This is an open cockpit aircraft, one pilot sitting in the other. And most of the US pilots during World War II got their initial training in this aircraft. Made of steel, cotton fabric, covering Canadian spruce wings, 9-cylinder engine. It was built by the Boeing Company in Wichita, in Kansas. The aircraft we're seeing here today, EIHFD, or Hotel Fox Delta, was originally built in 1942 at the Boeing factory in Wichita, Kansas, and then delivered to Pensacola, Florida, trainer for many thousands of US airmen during World War II. After the war, the airplane was bought from the US Army by a United States Air Force pilot who trained on Stearmans And the aircraft could be seen at in Fresno, California, performing in air shows during the 50s, 60s and 70s. And fantastic that the aircraft is still flying today. When Ryanair accepted delivery of its first Boeing 737-800 aircraft, they wanted to join the past with the future. The founder of Ryanair, Tony Ryan, and his son Carl acquired the aircraft and renamed it the Spirit of Tipperary and put it into the skies over Ireland. The Irish Historic Flight Foundation acquired the aircraft in 2016 in recognition of the role of this truly historic aircraft. Flying this afternoon are Alan Murphy, Carl McGee, Frank Lawless, and Mark Dwyer. Here, 138 miles an hour these aircraft are capable of, a range of over 280 miles because in one case the training was done near an airfield. Again, a length of 25 feet and a wingspan of 34 feet. Some of the special maneuvers to watch out for this afternoon have some fantastic names. Towering spiral cravat, family, the 9-day spin, vertical negative stick roll, reversing torque roll, the vertical the hump track, nose over tail, tumble, tail slide, high edge, and the upside down fly pass. That's just a small list to keep you entertained this afternoon. Then he's flying the CAP 232 with a maximum guiding speed of 400 kilometers an hour or 216 knots. The aircraft stops flying at around 90 kilometers an hour or 56 miles an hour. I can take G-loads of up to plus 10 or minus 10. Imagine your weight multiplied by 10. Let me give you an idea of some of the stresses and strains that both the pilot and the aircraft are capable of. Eddie lives in Dublin. He works weekdays as a dentist in Cabotini Village, and his nickname has become the Flying Fang Fixer. Also, if you want to see more of Eddie's flying, he actually has a GoPro camera fixed to the aircraft, and we'll be putting the footage up on YouTube later. Now, if you notice as Eddie comes closer to us, the side of his aircraft has Make-A-Wish Foundation branding on the side, and Eddie will be talking to us live from the aircraft before the display is over, where he's going to give you an opportunity to contribute to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. More from Eddie later as he chats to us from the aircraft. Ed his first flight lesson at the age of 18 in Dublin's Weston Airport. It took him 5 years to save the money to get his private pilot license. Since then, he's accumulated over 2,500 hours in airplanes and 400 hours in helicopters. He's qualified in over 40 different types of aircraft and has flown everything from hang gliders to citation jets. If you notice, Eddie's upside down and going side to side, doing things in aircraft that just shouldn't be technically possible. I think Eddie's going to talk to us now in a moment. More flying. Here we go, Eddie, with part 2. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, one of the most important things for us this afternoon is your safety, and therefore the Garda have asked us to remind you, please do not swim or enter the water anywhere near the display line. You run the risk of actually bringing the air show to a full stop, because obviously you can't fly the aircraft if there's somebody in the water. So we're asking you, please do not enter the water anywhere near the display line this afternoon. A special request from the Garda this afternoon. Let's get back to Eddie's display. The ratio of power to weight in this aircraft is almost 1-to-1. Not quite, but almost 1-to-1, which means that Eddie can actually use the effects of torque and the effects of the rotation of the propeller to sometimes bring this aircraft to a complete stop in the air. Just like that. Is for him to fall back through his own smoke. Giving you a superb demonstration this afternoon in the CAP aircraft for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. These high-level dynamics, he said, his weight will go up to a total of 127 stones. Now, imagine that weight, and then imagine attempting to control the aircraft with any level of precision. Here he is again, once again, holding the aircraft simply on the edge of the propeller power, still bursts of smoke so that you can see where he is, and entering again a high-speed time. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation and thanks to Eddie Goggins in the CAP 232. Eddie likes to say goodbye upside down. Here's your last opportunity for a photograph of Eddie's aircraft as he makes his final push down the flight line. Eddie now heads back to Weston, where all the aircraft operating today are based, and where our next aircraft is also based. We're going to see 2 engines used for instrument flight training, and also with the retractable undercarriage. It would be the basic introduction for pilots into the requirements that they will ultimately have in order to fly in airliners. As a glass cockpit, which is a phrase that pilots use to describe the technology being all based on glass screens rather than the old-fashioned instruments that you might have seen before. It has an autopilot again, very important for the training of pilots who plan to make a career in aviation. And it's fitted with 2 Rotax engines. These are operating, would you believe, on the same fuel that you would have in your car, and result in a very impressive fuel saving, because any aircraft operator Swedish Airport's historic flight operates the exciting, fast and very noisy Saab 37 Viggen. Swedish single-inch, short-range combat aircraft manufactured by Saab between 1970 and that you might like to know that we have been operating here today in the Bray area with airspace cleared up to 5,000 feet for all of our aircraft. But for this part of the demonstration, we're cleared up to 10,000 feet, giving us very special clear airspace. Here comes the Viggen aircraft. You're looking at a 300-kilometer, per hour path. And you'll hear the particular noise of this aircraft. You also travel with me as well. Tell us a little bit about the connection to Saab and this wonderful aircraft.
Saab is sponsoring the historic company. And that's great.
And it's been what are we talking about? That's the thunder.
Very nice.
Flying the aircraft today. Tell us been important in grade 4. About this aircraft being with us before is we don't get to do an awful lot of talking because the noise of this aircraft is just superb.
We just enjoy the noise. We've got a high-speed pass coming for us. Remember, we're looking at speeds of up to 380 miles an hour in this high-speed pass.
land on paved roadways in Sweden, and also very easy to repair on the ground with a minimum amount of resources. So a very clever design aspect in it. Are SAP still involved in aircraft production?
Very much so, yes. The successor of this one is the Griffin.
Can you tell us a bit about the Griffin?
The Griffin is a lot smaller, more agile. It's designed to be in the three roles: fighter, attack, and reconnaissance.
So,
which this one was not.
No. Aircraft are coming towards the crowd. Being ready for this straight look. See the delta wing on this aircraft in perfect formation. You can see why we got extra permission to go up to 10,000 feet today. He's using up the airspace really well. Now, as well as being able to fly at up to 600 miles an hour, this aircraft can also do some slow flight. And that's what we're going to see very shortly. Bringing the aircraft down to a nice slow speed of 180 miles an hour. We couldn't have asked for a better blue sky. Climbing up to about 5,000 feet there at 210 miles an hour. We have another high-speed pass to do this time. So, a special presentation this afternoon from the Viggen aircraft. And ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation. Thank you. That was some wonderful flying.
Красный,